ATMC TV's Game of the Week is brought to you by J.P. Russ & Son Grading and Clearing, Community Finance of South Carolina, Grissetown Longwood Fire and Rescue's Haunted Trail, The Doghouse Grill 2, Strand Termite and Pest Control, the Brunswick Beacon, and ATMC.
Welcome to M.H. Rourke Stadium on the campus of West Brunswick High School for the biggest game in Brunswick County in quite some time, your ATMC TV High School Football Game of the Week. He's Jay Combs, I'm Sam Hickman, and everything is on the line tonight as these rivals are squaring off with a playoff berth at stake. West Brunswick hosting South Brunswick tonight. Jay, this is the first time in almost 30 years these two teams have met with a playoff berth at stake. Let's set the stage for our viewers. There are two 3A teams that will qualify for the state 3A playoffs, and of course, undefeated New Hanover has already secured one of those 3A spots, meaning the winner of tonight's game between West and South Brunswick will get the second Mid-Eastern Conference berth in the state playoffs. If South wins, South and West would have the same conference record. South would own the head-to-head tiebreaker. Let's flip the script. If West Brunswick wins, they would finish fourth place in the conference ahead of South Brunswick by 2 games, and they would get the state playoff berth. In South Brunswick's 2 league wins this year, Jay, they've held their opponents to a combined 3 points. Of course, they shut out Ashley and then beat Topsail 14-3. At times, the defense has played really well, and that's in large part due to the contributions of senior linebacker Tyran Wade.
Yeah, he's had a heck of a year, Sam. Tyran Wade, 6'2", 230, a big guy at the linebacker position.
Ladies and gentlemen, if
74 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 4 sacks this year. In fact, I think one of the reasons that South has improved this year has been the overall improved play of their defense. When you consider last year's team gave up 43 points a game, this year's team only giving up 27. That's 16 less points, and that's marked improvement. Also watch number 22 defensively, John Porter. He's only a sophomore. He's not real big, 5'8", but 106 tackles on the season and leads the team. Offensively, a really, really quality wide receiver. Number 10, Matt Clark, 5'9", senior wide receiver, very short-handed, runs great routes, 27 catches, 378 yards, and a couple of scores from quarterback Mason Phillips.
And Jay, if West Brunswick is going to have success against a much improved South Brunswick defense and pick up a win on senior night here tonight, they're going to need big plays through the air and on the ground from senior quarterback Owen McDowell.
Well, of late, that's exactly what they've been getting. And hasn't Owen McDowell had a great senior season? Over 1,000 yards combined offensively. He's provided 10 touchdowns, 5 throwing, 5 running. He's just a real solid high school football player. He's the leader of this team. And Coach Kelly Williamson and his staff really rely on Owen to make the right kind of decision at the right time. The big plays you're talking about, hey, how about number 83, Nashawn Price, 6'1" junior wide receiver, sort of come out of nowhere lately. 9 catches, 213 yards, and 3 scores, and all 3 of those touchdown passes were 30 yards or more. Defensively at West, really hard to ignore Jakari Bethel and Russ Gorg. The 2 senior linebackers have combined for 227 tackles this year, 8 sacks. They've done everything. And don't forget defensively about Jalen Jones-Bay. 4 INTs, puts him among area leaders in interceptions.
And Jay, in this rivalry between these two Brunswick County schools, West Brunswick leads the all-time series 36-13, and the Trojans have won 27 of the last 31 meetings between these two teams. It's a rivalry game, it's senior night, it's a playoff atmosphere, it's West versus South with everything on the line on your ATMC TV Game of the Week. Stay with us for the opening kickoff.
All right.
We're almost set for the opening kickoff here on senior night from MH Rourke Stadium. Jay, a lot on the line. The winner of this rivalry game between West and South Brunswick will advance to the state 3A playoffs. How much fun is this, partner?
Well, throw out the record, Sam, because if you go way back to August and if you told both coaches the last game of the year, you win, you advance, they would take their shot.
Sure. Hunter Yance with a low driving squib kick fielded by South Brunswick at the 19-yard line. A nice-looking return for the Cougars down at the 35-yard line. I believe that was number 3, Deshaun Lee on the return, and the Cougars will take over 1st and 10 at around their own 36.
And Khalil Bland on special team kick coverage for the Trojans, getting downfield and stopping Deshaun Lee, who is a dangerous player. There's a lot of guys on this South Brunswick team that individually can light you up, and Lee being one of them.
We get our first look of the night at South Brunswick quarterback number 14, Mason Phillips. You'll also see him play some defense here tonight. South Brunswick with a loaded backfield, handoff up the middle, and big Russ Gore comes up with a big stop. 77, Monty Stanley also in on that tackle. Jay, that was our first look at South running back Bradley Wormuth.
Well, Wormuth is a bull. He's a hard guy to bring down, but good penetration on that line. You know who else was involved that time for West? A kid we haven't seen much of this year, number 46, Javian McCray, who can be a difference maker defensively for this West team.
2nd and 10 for South Brunswick from its own 35-yard line. That handoff goes to Wormuth again up the middle, and he stumbles his way for about a 5-yard gain out to the 40.
Brad Wormuth, 392 yards coming into tonight's game. 4.1 yards per carry, a couple of scores. He's caught 6 passes. He's made 26 tackles. Like a lot of these guys for South Brunswick, play both ways and play very well on both sides of the ball.
Jay, big 3rd down here early in the contest. 3rd and 5 for the Cougars from their own 40-yard line. Phillips takes the snap. He surges ahead, very close to the marker. As always, it's going to depend on the spot. Jay, from the initial mark, it looks like Phillips is going to be a yard short.
Just a bit shy. Sam, the last game we did with South Brunswick, believe it was against Hoggard, we saw Mason Phillips run that same play and run it very, very well. So something that Wes is going to have to be aware of here tonight.
Jay, also have to be aware of the hard count right here on 4th and very short. South's going to go for it. They hand off up the middle, and it's a big gain across midfield to the West Brunswick 47. That's Wormuth for a South Brunswick 1st down.
Wormuth is a tough guy to bring down. He is not real tall, 5'6", but he's 210 pounds. And if you look at 3'4" there from the waist down, look at those legs, Sam. That's where a lot of your power and strength comes from. And he is a tough guy to tackle, kind of like trying to tackle a fire hydrant, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Jay, big call there by South Brunswick head coach Rocky Lewis. 4th and 1 from the South 44-yard line. Playoff berth at stake here. He goes for it. Wormuth picks up 9 and a 1st down. Jay, we have a flag on the play.
We got a little cloth on the field.
There's a little bit of dancing going back and forth between both teams that time.
That's a delay of game penalty on South Brunswick. So after picking up the 1st down, South can't get the snap off in time, and that's going to bring up a 1st and 15 for the Cougars.
Boy, Rocky Lewis would not be happy about that. Nice little drive going by the Cougars, and you break that momentum with a 5-yard penalty. So it makes it 1st and 15. A team that doesn't like to throw the ball, can throw the ball. Mason Phillips capable, but would much rather stay on the ground.
And Jay, another guy in the South Brunswick backfield we saw in that Hoggard game was sophomore Alex Brown. Well, that's a very short carry there for South Brunswick. Jay, that was 34 Wormuth on the carry. Yeah. He was brought down by big Javian McCray, I believe, and Jakari Bethel. We'll call it a loss of 1 on the play.
42.
Looked like 64, Casey Holler, who's had a pretty darn good season for West this year, in on that stop as well. But, yeah, you're talking about the young man, Alex Brown. We saw him against Hoggard Only a sophomore, tough runner.
2nd and 16 from the 47-yard line of South Brunswick. Phillips drops back to pass, looking for running room, and he's got none, as that's big 44 Russ Gore with a key sack for the Trojans.
5th sack of the year for the senior. Being recruited by just an abundance of Ivy League schools, Sam, and whoever gets him is getting not only a quality football player, quality athlete, but a quality student, and more importantly, a quality individual.
Jay, that was a loss of 9 yards on the play. That's going to set up a 3rd and 25 from the South 38-yard line. So after picking up a first down, the Cougars are going backwards. That handoff is around the left side to Brown. He's still on his feet. He's brought down across the 40, picks up about 5 yards. Bethel brings him down well short of the original line of scrimmage, and that's going to bring on the South Brunswick punt team.
Well, Sam, you know, tackle number unofficially 104 on the year by Jakari Bethel was a very important one, because if Alex Brown had been able to get away from Jakari Bethel, he might still be running. That kid's got some go. But Bethel, excellent open field tackle.
Jay, we saw Declan Hall with several nice punts last week against Hoggard. He's going to need a good one here. A good snap, a high spiral punt. West calls for the fair catch, and it is fielded cleanly by 21, DeAndre Clariday. Jay, we do have a flag on the far sideline around the 39-yard line, so we'll wait on the call from the official. The fair catch was called around the West Brunswick 25-yard line. We'll wait on the call from the white hat.
You know, Declan Hall averages about 29 yards a punt. He got all of that one that time, Sam. He spun that one, turned it over. An excellent kick by the junior punter for South Brunswick, Declan Hall.
It was a 35-yard punt. Clariday called for the fair catch at the West Brunswick 23. Jay, it looks like the penalty is going to go against the Trojans as the Trojan offense is backing up toward its own end zone. It is against the Trojans, and West is going to have the ball at its own 14-yard line, and we get our first look at the Trojan offense.
Well, South did a good job of flipping the field that time, pinning West way back, so Owen McDowell and company got a long way to go to get on the scoreboard, but
that's Bethel with a carry around the right side, looking for running room, and a nice job of gang tackling by South Brunswick. Maybe a yard on the carry for Bethel.
Leading rusher on the team is Jakari Bethel. 671 yards coming into tonight's contest. Had a couple of scores last week and had big game against Laney.
ATMC TV.
Here's a carry around the right side and a really nice tackle there on the far sideline.
Channel 3 airs every Trojan.
Jay, I believe that was number 20, Jacob Regalia, who brought down Bethel.
9 p.m.
Nice stop by Regalia, 6'1" junior. Tough guy to bring down is Bethel.
3rd and 6 for the Trojans. McDowell hands that one off around the right edge. I think that's Jones Bay on the carry. Tough to see, very close to the marker. Picked up about 6 yards on the play. We'll see if that was enough for a West Brunswick first down.
I'll tell you what, West not wasting much time, are they, Sam? Out there over the ball. I think he picked it up, Sam.
Jay, was that Jones Bay on that carry, or
it
was
looked
it
like
Medford?
I think it looked like Jones Bay to me, but the PA announcer said Medford. Either way, first down, West.
West Brunswick going very quickly. McDowell fakes the handoff, looking for a receiver. He fires a pass. It's caught. That's 32, Tyler Tate. Maybe his first catch of the year. All the way out to the 44-yard line. A big 21-yard completion from McDowell to Tyler Tate.
You talk about tough guys. Tyler Tate, tough, okay? It's a strong, good football player. Hits you from that linebacker position, and if he can contribute offensively as a tight end, wow, what a package for Kelly Williamson.
Boy, Jay, West Brunswick clearly making it a point to come out with that fast tempo.
Got a flag on the field.
And West is signaling like that flag is going to be on South Brunswick. It is a West Brunswick player lined up
on the plain surface
in the neutral zone, and so that's going to set up a 1st and 15 from the West 39-yard line.
Well, West clearly offensively here in their first series, the hurry-up offense, and Owen's got them out over the ball quickly and trying to catch South before they can get set, make their important matchups defensively, and so far it's been successful.
Jay, although it's no score and we're only halfway through the first quarter, frenetic pace here in the early going. Our first look at West Brunswick's Casey Medford had some room around the right side, maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage to the 44. We'll give Medford 5 yards. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
That's Alex Brown in on the stop, and he's a good player to watch, folks. Number 24 for South Brunswick. He's going to be around for a while. He's only a sophomore. Excellent running back, and 24 tackles and an interception this year defensively for a 10th grader.
McDowell in the shotgun. He rolls out to his left looking for a receiver. He fires a pass. That's Medford on the completion. Medford still fighting for yardage. He picks up about 5 yards to the 49, just shy of midfield. That's going to set up a 3rd and 5 for the Trojans.
Zane Tittle on the stop that time, and it's a load to bring down the 5'9", buck-80 Cason Medford. 480 yards on the year rushing, has good hands, can come out of the backfield and catch the football. Kind of a dual threat for the Trojans.
And Jay, that's why those penalties are huge. West has picked up 10 yards on the last 2 plays combined, but not enough for the first down yardage after the encroachment penalty on first down.
Tell you what, McDowell early on tonight looks pretty comfortable, Sam Hickman.
Timeout taken by
running
the
this
Trojans.
fast attack, and
Be reminded.
call a timeout here to kind of reset things for West.
Former WBHS football players that are here tonight.
The ATMC TV Game of the Week crew would like to thank J.P. Russ & Son for its sponsorship of tonight's game. Serving Brunswick County since 1947, J.P. Russ & Son has become the local leader in all your heavy equipment needs. Paving, grading, clearing, drainage, and much more. J.P. Russ & Son will haul any material, even rock. Give them a call at 754-6023. Jay, big play here. 3rd and 5 from the 49-yard line at West Brunswick. Are you thinking about maybe running it here, getting some of the yardage back and going for it on 4th?
I'm thinking about Owen McDowell making a play here.
And they're going to leave it in his hands as he fakes the handoff, throws a pass to Russ Gore. Russ Gore comes up with an acrobatic catch across the 45 to the South 44 for a West Brunswick first down.
I told you Sam Gore is good and he's smart, and that was a heck of a catch. Again, Ivy League schools are all over this guy, and why not with his GPA and his all-around athletic ability, but super catch that time by Gore and Owen McDowell.
We also have a
leading the attack. He got hit that time too, so I think we're going to tack a few more yards on
Boy,
this one,
Jay,
Sam.
it was a 7-yard completion, which was good enough for the first down anyway. You can tack on 15 to that for roughing the passer. So a 22-yard play for West Brunswick, and the Trojans are in business at the 29-yard line of the Cougars.
Boy, West is ready to go. They just want that official to blow the whistle. They are out over the ball tonight.
McDowell fakes a handoff. He throws a pass. It's caught. The catch is made by number 6, Jalen Jones Bay. And Jay, there's West Brunswick's Swiss Army knife. Jones Bay plays defense. He forces takeaways. He catches the ball. He runs the ball. Does a little bit of everything for this team.
He's had just a great year this senior season. 5'10", 155 pounds. 23 tackles, 4 interceptions. He can catch the ball as well. And old Jalen's really put it together here his 12th grade year.
McDowell's going to keep it. He's across the 20, dragged down at about the 15 or 16-yard line for another West Brunswick first down.
Yeah, that's almost like a quarterback draw. McDowell takes the snap and just kind of hesitates and lets things play out, reads his blocks, and goes off the left side to pick up the first down.
West is going to have a 1st and 10 from the South Brunswick 16-yard line. Great offensive possession to start the game for West Brunswick. We're scoreless, 3.5 minutes left in the opening period. West has a first down, converted a key 3rd and 5 on a completion to Russ Gore, and now they're threatening in the red zone. Bethel makes a man miss, still on his feet. dragged down at about the 10-yard line. Bethel picks up 6 on the first down carry. Nice little jump cut there by the big guy.
I'd say that. You know, I don't know if that's a wrestling move or not. He's an outstanding wrestler. I know App State looking at him to wrestle. But he wants to play some football, and you know what? He's put together a kind of season that I think some colleges got to take a look. You know, running out of the backfield that time, number 46, the big boy.
McCray.
Javian McCray at 250 pounds. You got him and you got Bethel. Ooh, don't want to tackle either.
And don't forget, Russ Gore leading the way as the lead blocker. Bethel's got the handoff. He's inside the 5. Touchdown, Trojans! Jay, what was a great drive engineered by Owen McDowell. Culminates with a Jakari Bethel 10-yard touchdown run off the left tackle. And with 2:47 left in the opening period, it's West Brunswick 6, South Brunswick 0.
Tell you what, the guys on the left side of that line, Sellers, Stanley, big Gabe Lewis at center, knocking some people back.
The extra point attempt is up, and it is no good. West Brunswick fails to convert the point after try. That was the senior kicker, Hunter Janssen, to try the extra point. He misses, but nevertheless, 2:47 left in the opening frame. The Trojans lead the Cougars 6-0. What a start, partner.
Oh, just an excellent, excellent opening possession by West. How many yards? They got the ball in their 14, I think. 13. So
87-yard drive.
And very methodical, and certainly the big pass catch by Gore, and then the roughing the passer helped, but then it's Jakari Bethel right, Jakari Bethel left, and you're in the end zone for 6. So a quick 6-0 lead for West Brunswick here in what is a win or go home game, Sam Hickman.
4 minutes and 34 seconds it took the Trojans to march 87 yards. It was an 11-play, 87-yard drive that chewed up 4 minutes and 34 seconds off the game clock. And Jay, just like that, West Brunswick has taken an early 6-0 lead.
Yeah, that's, you know, if you're West, I mean, you want to come out, you want to go ahead and throw a couple of punches, and that's what they did on that drive, really establishing the rhythm of the game. I think it was smart the way they ran that hurry up and seemed to catch South a little off balance and maybe a little fatigue coming down towards the end of that drive.
And Jay, worth noting, quarterback Owen McDowell, who you spoke so eloquently about in the pregame, was perfect on the drive passing. Big, nice return by South Brunswick across the 35. The return man is brought down at the 39-yard line. I believe that was number 5, Jalen Parker, who we saw play quarterback a little last week with the kick return.
He's played some quarterback, a pretty good athlete. Nice tackle that time by Tyler Tate on the special teams. So sets it up for the second possession of the night for Mr. Mason Phillips. Pretty good quarterback on his own. 631 yards through the air this year, 335 yards rushing. It's accounted for 8 touchdowns for South Brunswick.
South trails 6-0, 2:41 left. That handoff goes around the left side, looking for a lead blocker. Positive yardage and a big hit by DeAndre Clariday.
Yeah,
that was number 2, Keyshawn Smith on the carry, and Clariday came and met him and stopped him after a gain of 2.
Well, the Clariday is going to be a force here, only a sophomore, but Keyshawn Smith, 362 yards rushing for the Cougars. And you know who at the bottom of the pile that time? 4-4, Russell Gore, okay?
4-4, Russell Gore.
We're going to kind of miss him, you know, when in future years.
Not as much as Kelly Williamson will.
Yes, indeed.
Woo, what a player. That handoff goes around the right side. Jay, that's big Javian McCray in on the stop, along with 44, Russ Gore. But Jay, it was McCray who got in the backfield, disrupted that play, and that is a huge tackle for loss for Russ Gore.
You know, West has kind of missed McCray this year. He's been hurt. He's missed several games, and I think probably some of those games he was playing, he wasn't 100%. But let me tell you, the young guy looks 100% tonight. And don't forget, another 10th grader big one at 250 pounds, but yet just in the 10th grade.
And Jay, it is senior night here in Charlotte, but the cupboard will not be bare when these guys have played their last football games. Lots of young talent on this team. Mason Phillips looking for a receiver, tries to outrun Javian McCray. He does, but he's chased out of bounds at about the 41-yard line, about 8 yards short of the line to gain, and that's going to force another South Brunswick punt.
And you know what Bethel did smart that time, Sam?
Laid off, didn't hit him late.
You got it. There was a time I think he would have just been all out and laid him up and maybe pick up a penalty, maybe not. But this time, just shoved him out of bounds. Knew he wasn't going to get a first. Let's get the ball back over. Nice, heady, smart play by the senior, Jakari Bethel.
4th and 8 from the South 41. Hall, the punter for South Brunswick. He catches the long snap, gets off another high semi-spiral. I believe Clariday is going to try to return this one. A really great open field tackle by number 9, Isaiah McDonald. Perhaps stopped a sizable return there from DeAndre Clariday, but a nice job fielding the punt. Jay, DeAndre Clariday's given this West Brunswick team, if nothing else, someone who can field punts. They've given up several yards of field position, not catching punts. He does a great job back there doing that.
He seemed like he got more playing time after the first few games of the year, and has really helped solidify special teams and the defensive backfield position. And what a special team play that time by Isaiah McDonald, 6'2" senior for South. That's an excellent tackle on a real good running back.
Nice positive yardage on first down for West Brunswick. That's Bethel across the 25, down at about the 28 for a 5-yard pickup on first down.
So, Sam, we're a fair distance away from the field, up, just in front of the press box. But Sam Hickman, when you can hear pads popping up here, my friend,
that's right.
That's some hitting. That's some big-time hitting going on by both teams.
We'll give Bethel 6 yards on that carry out to the 29. 2nd and 4 for West Brunswick. And more Jakari Bethel, big-time run, still on his feet across the 35 to the 36. And this West Brunswick offense is humming a little bit right now, partner.
The offensive line is really being dominant here early on. And Monty Stanley Sellers, Gabe Lewis, Tyler Long, who I think got an award before the game.
Mr. Football.
By the cheerleaders or the dancers or something. Casey Holler. So the guys up front who make the difference are doing a good job here tonight.
Jay, this time Bethel on the tall sweep. He's still on his feet, bulls his way across the 40 to the 41, and he picks up another 5 yards. That's 7 carries for 38 yards in the opening frame for big Jakari Bethel.
And 2 guys banging each other, 2 number 42s, Tyram Wade and Jakari Bethel. Great way to end the first quarter here tonight.
Jay, I was waiting on those two to collide there. After 12 minutes of game action on rivalry night with a state playoff berth on the line, it's West Brunswick 6, South Brunswick 0. We'll be back for the second quarter on your ATMC TV Game of the Week.
Hey, Sam, man, it's Jay.
Hey, partner.
Didn't you tell me you know a guy that's got some heavy equipment? I need a load of dirt.
Don't worry, man. I got you.
Sam, this isn't what I had in mind.
He'll be done any time now.
I knew we should have called J.P. Russ & Son.
Serving Brunswick County since 1947, J.P. Russ & Son has become the local leader in all your heavy equipment needs. We also haul any material, even rock. Give J.P. Russ & Son a call today.
Bugs have to live somewhere. Make sure it's not your house. Strand Termite and Pest Control is ready to help you with your pest control needs. Whatever the bug, whatever the problem. From that pesky roach, ants, bed bugs, or termites damaging your house, Strand Termite and Pest Control has been helping families with their pest problems for 45 years. We can also encapsulate your crawl space to stop moisture and bugs in their tracks. We're proudly family owned and operated and have 2 locations to serve you. Don't let bugs bug you. Call for a free estimate or visit us online.
Ho, ho, ho! It's time for the 7th Annual Holiday Happenings Christmas Show. Start your holiday season early and come by on Saturday, November 11th at Charlotte Middle School. Feel the Christmas spirit as you stroll the venue and enjoy entertainment by the West Brunswick Show Choir, yummy food, fantastic gifts, holiday decor, and free pictures with Santa. the 7th Annual Holiday Happenings Christmas Show, hosted by the Brunswick Beacon and presented by these great local sponsors.
Start of the second quarter, McDowell takes the shotgun snap, tosses it to Medford looking for running room, and he's hit a big-time hit and loses his helmet. Jay, we have a flag at the end of that play that came in. Big hit by South Brunswick.
We got a flag on the
4 yards on the carry for Medford to the 45. We'll wait on the flag.
Now, the big hit was by a big guy, Rayshawn Roberts, 6'4", 318 pounds. But the officials are going to call something.
Personal foul, face mask on the Cougars.
Okay,
and Jay, that's going to result in a first down. It would have been 3rd and 1 from the 45 of West Brunswick. Instead, they're going to have a new set of downs, another West Brunswick first down.
The way West has played here in the opening quarter, they don't need a whole lot of help, Sam, but they'll certainly take it. Hey, Sam, what a great first quarter for Ja'Cory Bethel. I believe you told me 7
for 38.
7 attempts, 38 yards.
And a touchdown, of course.
That was my senior season, I think, but, you know.
West Brunswick with a 1st and 10 at the South Brunswick 40-yard line. The Trojans lead by 6 in the early going. McDowell on the option keeper runs across the 25, knocked out of bounds at the 24 for a 16-yard gain from the senior quarterback.
260 yards rushing on the year, 682 yards through the air, 5 touchdowns running, 5 touchdowns passing, and all kinds of smart decisions. I love my Owen McDowell. He does a real good job.
We'll give him 17 yards on the carry, so you can add to that season rushing total right there. Add 17 to that. And Jay, that's what successfully running the ball with Bethel will do. The defense starts to key in on him. McDowell pulls it out of his belly, runs around the right side for a big pickup. He fakes a handoff that time to no one, but he still gets positive yardage, still on his feet, crosses the goal line for a West Brunswick touchdown. Owen McDowell, 23 yards on a busted play, and the Trojans lead 12-0 with 11:03 left in the second quarter.
And the confetti comes down. Look at that. Hey, listen, I don't know if that was a busted play or not. If it was, Kelly ought to put it in the book, right?
Absolutely.
But you know what you saw that time? He stood there holding the ball, begging somebody to take it, and there's nobody in a white shirt anywhere around him. That offensive line doing a great job here this evening.
Boy, Jay, and West Brunswick has the extra point team out there. Everyone but the kicker, number 15, Hunter Younts.
He will help if he can get out there. And by the by, he's really stabilized the kicking game here this year at West.
Good snap. McDowell fakes it. He pulls it down and throws it, and it falls incomplete. I believe that was Tyler Tate, the intended receiver. So the two-point try is no good, and with 11:03 left in the second, West Brunswick 12, South Brunswick 0 on your ATMC TV Game of the Week, brought to you by Community Finance of South Carolina, which offers personal and title loans with the most competitive rates in the area. Located right across the border in Little River, Community Finance provides quick approval so you can have cash in minutes. Visit them online at cfscloans.com. We'd also like to thank the Brunswick Beacon for its sponsorship of tonight's game. Your community newspaper since 1962, the Brunswick Beacon is your source for local news, sports, and features. Subscribe to the Beacon today. Call 910-754-6890 or go to brunswickbeacon.com. A reminder to our ATMC TV viewers to check out the Brunswick Beacon's Holiday Happenings Christmas Show at Shallotte Middle School from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, November 11th. Again, that's the Holiday Happenings Christmas Show, November 11th, which is a Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Lots of good vendors, foods, pet adoptions. Check it out. Hunter Younts with a low line drive kick to the far sideline. Jay, it might stay in bounds. Oh, it just rolls out of bounds right by the front pylon. Big break there for South Brunswick. If that would have stayed in bounds and South had to pick it up, they'd have had terrible field position. Instead, the ball will come out to the 35-yard line.
Well, you can say that again, Sam, and a good bounce for South Brunswick. And right now they need a good bounce. They haven't really been able to get anything going of substance against West here, so getting the ball out around their 35 gives Mason Williams Mason Phillips and company a chance to try to get something going in a positive way offensively for the Cougars. I see they got the big guy, look like, in the backfield.
Jibke, Storm and Norman, right?
Yeah, so maybe going to grind it out a little bit.
And Jibke's going to get that handoff. Jay's still on his feet, eventually brought down by Russ Gore. And it looked like Jakari Bethel was also in on that tackle. Jibke out to the 39-yard line for a gain of 4.
Norm Jibke, 5'10 senior, 275 pounds. And you know what? That belly's not hanging over his belt line like mine is, right? He's 275 pounds. That boy's put together pretty good.
Jibke in a full bloated backfield for South Brunswick. Phillips hands that one off up the middle. Jay, can't say enough good things about the job West Brunswick has done defending the run tonight. I believe that was Wormuth on the carry across the 40 to the 43-yard line, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 from the 43.
There's some banging around going in that offensive and defensive line for sure. Some big guys that are really going up against each other. This is a big play for South. They really need to move the chains on this.
Jay, how did the Cougars mount some momentum offensively as we wait for this 3rd and 2 play? Jibke with a nice run down very close to the line to gain at the 45-yard line, and the referee signal that it is a first down for the Cougars to their own 45-yard line.
And Sam, that's how they do it. Just let's stick to the basics and grind it out. They're out over the ball pretty quickly, too. West Brunswick did that much of the first quarter.
12-0, 9:40 left in the second quarter. Sorry, partner.
Mason Phillips trying to give West Brunswick a little dose of their own medicine here.
Phillips hands that one off up the middle, and that is going nowhere.
Casey Holler.
Big Casey Holler meets the ball carrier in the backfield and knocks him down for a loss of 4 yards.
Yeah, Casey, don't holler at me. He was hollering in the backfield of South Brunswick that time. I swear, Holler was in the back by the ball carrier about the same time the ball carrier got the ball. So excellent penetration and charge that time by the junior defensive end, Casey Holler.
2nd and 14 from the South Brunswick 41-yard line. Phillips fakes the handoff, looking for a receiver to throw to. He does a nice job eluding pressure, flings a pass down the field. Falls to the turf, incomplete. Really nice coverage there by West Brunswick's number 10, Julian LeGrand. Nice job by LeGrand. Pass was intended for Matt Clark. Falls incomplete, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 14.
You know, LeGrand, another one of those kids he's a junior and got more playing time as the season progressed and has made the most of it for sure. Saw McCray in that time. You know, it's not always every time you're not going to tackle somebody for a loss, but you're disruptive, you force things, and looks like Javian McCray came to play here this evening.
South tries to catch West napping with a handoff up the middle. Very minimal yardage there on the carry. That was Wormuth out to the 43-yard line for a gain of 2, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 12 from the South 43.
Looked like Sellers in on the stop that time, and some help from Monty Stanley. So you add those two guys up, that's 560 pounds.
That's a lot of pounds.
That's a lot of pounds, Sam Hickman.
4th and 12 for South Brunswick. All punts on the night on the South Brunswick drives. This time it's a high spiral, not nearly as deep, and it takes a fortuitous South Brunswick bounce and will be down in between the 20 and 21-yard lines. So West Brunswick leads 12-0 with 7:55 left here before halftime, and gives us a chance to thank the Griswold Longwood Fire and Rescue Haunted Trail for once again sponsoring your ATMC TV Games of the Week. Jay, had a team of coworkers at the Beacon that went to the Haunted Trail. You know, they do it, go as a group annually, and once again, they raved about it. So a big special thank you to the folks down at the Griswold Longwood Fire and Rescue Haunted Trail for sponsoring our games of the week.
And they survived?
They went in and they did come out.
All right.
Barely. That's Jones Bay on the carry. He's got a lot of running room around the left side, still on his feet. Jay, he's got a big play, brought down in the 39-yard line. An 18-yard gain for Jones Bay on first down.
Jones Bay picks up the yardage, but credit Case and Medford and 81 Easton Simmons downfield, leading the way for Medford to pick up some big-time yards.
17 yards on the carry for Jones Bay from the Trojan 21 out to the 38-yard line. So if nothing else, West Brunswick has a little bit of breathing room here. And Jay, so far through about 17 minutes of game action, it's been all West Brunswick.
Certainly has. They've been very dominant in the early going here tonight.
That handoff is around the right side to Jones Bay, and he's got a lot of room across midfield to the 49-yard line, 13 yards on the pickup.
Number 6, Jalen Jones Bay.
Jalen Jones Bay's had a pretty good game too, hasn't he, Sam?
Jay, what doesn't this kid do? He is just so much fun to watch, and a nice kid.
What do you call him? The Swiss Army knife?
Swiss Army knife.
I like that.
Of West Brunswick. He does a little bit of everything.
Does a little bit of everything. And don't leave home without it, right? And don't play football games without JJB, Jalen Jones Bay.
First and 10 from midfield. McDowell pitches that one out to the left side to Medford. Medford still on his feet. Across the line to gain. He's still on his feet. Inside the South Brunswick 35-yard line. A big gain on first down. Jay, 3 first down snaps and 3 gains of more than 10 yards for West Brunswick on this drive.
Boy, the Trojans are grinding it out right now. And if it wasn't for a good tackle by the Cougars' John Porter that time, I think Medford scores. So certainly things going the way of West Brunswick here pretty much the entire game, and certainly on this drive. Very, very impressive.
A trio of carries this possession for West Brunswick. Jones Bay picked up 17, then 12, then Medford picked up 17. This time Medford not nearly as much running room, and that is a big tackle from South Brunswick. I believe that was 24, Alex Brown, in on that tackle. Medford actually lost yardage on the play. We'll call it a loss of 1, 2nd and 11 coming up for the Trojans from the South 34-yard line.
That's the kind of defensive play that South Brunswick needs to try to stem the tide here, because it is all Trojans all night long so far.
Nice variety in the running game for West Brunswick. You know, a lot of Medford, a lot of Bethel, some Jones Bay around the edges. This time we see Bethel again. Makes a jump cut at the line. Jibke brings him down at about the 31-yard line, 3 yards on the game for Bethel, and that will set up a 3rd and 8 for West Brunswick.
Well, Sam, remember at the beginning of the season when people were trying to scope out West, the question was who was going to replace Bubba McCray, and the answer was, well, it's going to be a committee. Well, it's taken a while for that committee to form, but there is a committee of backs now here at West Brunswick.
That's a great point, Jay.
That can all hurt you in different ways, and offensively, Owen McDowell's figured it out, and they're taking advantage of it.
And West Brunswick goes empty here as McDowell looks for someone to throw to. He's got very little room. He tucks it down and runs. He's inside the 30-yard line. He is going to be short of the first down marker, but picks up positive yardage. Jay, do we have a flag on the play? We do. It's going to be a holding penalty on West Brunswick. South Brunswick could decline it, and that would force about a 4th and 4 situation, or accept it, and it could be about a 3rd and 17 or 18. We'll see what they do.
Brisk pace of this game tonight, 5:26 to go in the second quarter. A few penalties. Holding, there's the holding call against West. A few penalties on both teams, but you know, all things considered, a fairly well-played game, and certainly at a very fast pace.
Jay, West Brunswick has to get to the South 23-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd and 22 from the Trojans from the 45-yard line of the Cougars.
But they've got a couple of downs to do it, Sam. I don't think they would punt, but you never know.
3rd and 22 from the South 45.
Maybe.
Jay, I believe a timeout is going to interrupt play here. Head coach Rocky Lewis wants a timeout so South Brunswick can go over the formation, and that gives our ATMC TV team a chance to thank the Doghouse Grill 2 for sponsoring the ATMC TV Game of the Week. The Doghouse Grill 2 is your neighborhood hotspot, serving breakfast all day, plus delicious handmade burgers, deli sandwiches, gourmet Red Barn coffee, and dessert to satisfy your sweet tooth. Open 7 days a week for breakfast and lunch. The Doghouse Grill 2 on Beach Drive in Ocean Isle Beach.
For abused children, all proceeds will be donated.
A pretty good crowd here at West Brunswick tonight, Sam, for senior night. Last regular season game, and also playoff implications. But looks like Shalot's turned out pretty well for their Trojans here tonight.
And back to action.
Yeah, Jay, and no excuse for not being out here this evening with a 3A state playoff berth on the line. 3rd and 22 for West Brunswick. McDowell fakes the snap. It's a throwback screen, and Jakari Bethel's got running room. He's got a convoy down the left sideline. It's a first down and more, and he's going to cross the goal line for a touchdown. But, Jay, I believe that one may come back as a flag was thrown around the line to gain at about the 24-yard line, and that could negate a 45-yard touchdown strike from McDowell to Jakari Bethel.
Well, we just got finished complimenting both teams on a fairly crisp and well-played game, and looks like we're going to have a block from behind or a blocking penalty against the Trojans, which is going to take off the 40-odd yard touchdown pass.
Boy, Jay, beautiful play call there. Beautiful play call. And even if West doesn't touch, no reason to block him in the back. Bethel was almost at the line to gain there. At the very worst, he gets tackled about the 25, and you have a 4th and 1, which doesn't seem so bad after a 3rd and 22.
It was a great call and real fine execution by West. But got caught.
Still makes it 3rd down.
But, Jay, a positive play for West Brunswick. It's still 3rd down, and now it's just a 3rd and 12 instead of a 3rd and 22. Boy, a lot of action here in these last couple minutes. You hope that one doesn't come back to bite you. Instead of 18-0, you got a 3rd and 12 from the South 35-yard line. McDowell in the shotgun. He fires a pass across the middle. It's caught. And, Jay, there's our guy, Nashawn Price, who has just had a fantastic second half of the season. That's enough for a first down on the completion from McDowell to Nashawn Price.
Catch number 10 on the year for the junior. We talked about in the pregame, he's 3 touchdown catches all over 30 yards, and certainly showing his ability at that time to just be a good possession receiver. Receivers don't like to go over the middle, Sam. I don't know if you know that or not.
I do.
But when I played quarterback, they really didn't want to go over the middle because I left.
Gator arms, huh?
Oh, my Lord, I left them hanging out. But Price that time makes a nice catch and picks up the first down.
Boy, Jay, what was a really clean game for the first quarter and a half has turned awfully sloppy here as West breaks the huddle with 12 guys, illegal substitution, and West is going to have a 1st and 15 from the South 26.
Yeah, it's all my fault, Sam, because I was the one that complimented both teams, and since then it's kind of deteriorated. They were actually a little more efficient when they were getting out over the ball real quick in that hurry up, right? They
I think you're right, partner.
Penalties in, so maybe too much thinking going on. Let's just get out there and rock 'em, sock 'em, play some ball.
And, Jay, 3 big gains to start this drive, 17, 12, and then 17, and now West Brunswick seemingly stuck on this side of the field. Jay Bethel still on his feet. What a strong kid across the 20 to the 18 for a gain of 8, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 7 inside the South Brunswick red zone.
That time, that strength for sure, but you know what? As much as it is strength, I think it's determination. And
A little want to.
Yeah, Jakari just did not want to go down. I think he ran that one for Miss Tammy Munns, who's been telling me about this kid since he was in the 7th grade. Jay, you got to see Jakari. He is the real deal, and she was right.
And there's the real deal once again, all the way down to the 11-yard line, very close to the line to gain, as Bethel picks up what is very close to a West Brunswick first down.
Was that sound? Is that what a Trojan makes? Or the rooster crowed early? That's what they're saying?
Jay, we're still waiting on the call from the official. The yard markers still show 3rd down, but we're going to have an official measurement on your game of the week. That's brought to you by ATMC. Serving our community for more than 60 years, ATMC is your local provider for telephone, internet, digital cable, wireless, and home security. ATMC is a local company with local priorities. Contact them today at 910-755-8206 or check them out on the web at atmc.com. Jay, or let me rephrase, can South Brunswick slow down Jakari Bethel?
He just picked up another first down. Sam, they have not been able to solve him so far, and I think that what did you just get for saying a couple of minutes ago? His want to is in abundance here this evening. The senior having a tremendous. He had 38 yards in the first quarter. He's probably got 20 odd here in the second. Who is that person or thing or whatever it is in the background that keeps crowing? And
I can't answer that. Okay. I have no idea. That's not West Brunswick intern Tristan Williamson, is it?
I hope
making
not.
The crow noise in the background. Tristan with us again.
I'm pretty sure we learned him better than that, didn't we?
Jay, that's big Javier McCray on the carry inside the 5-yard line of South Brunswick. Whoa, that's a neat little wrinkle, isn't it?
You don't want to see that coming at you. Let me tell you, rumble, stumble, 250 pounds of Javier McCray coming at you.
Jay, that's 8 yards for Javier McCray. 2nd and 2 from the 3-yard line of the Cougars. West Brunswick knocking on the door. That handoff goes to Russ Gore. He's fighting for yardage, but he's brought down shy of the goal line. Gore picks up 2 yards. It is still going to be 3rd down, so we'll give Gore 1 yard to the 2, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 from the 2-yard line of the Cougars. Jay, worth noting, West can get a first down without scoring. The line to gain is the 1-yard line here, so West has 2 plays to pick up 1 yard here from the South Brunswick 2.
And lots of options out there with Gore and McCray and JJB, Jalen Jones-Bay, and of course, you know, Owen McDowell, who makes so many good decisions. Beat you with his arm, beat you with his legs, but South Brunswick going to take a break and think about this one.
Rocky Lewis calls the second of South Brunswick's 3 first-half timeouts, and we'd like to thank Strand Termite and Pest Control for sponsoring tonight's game. Locally owned and operated, Strand Termite and Pest Control Company has served the Carolinas for more than 45 years. It provides comprehensive pest control services to ensure the safety and health of your workplace or residence. Using integrated pest management techniques and new science, Strand Termite proudly offers you today's most effective treatments. Enjoy fast and friendly service along with affordable prices from Strand Termite and Pest Control. Jay, take me into the play call and thought process here. What do you like 3rd and 1 from the 2?
Well, you know, I like something simple. Something simple. Just hand it off to one of the big guys and let them, or maybe keep it yourself, but they're going to go to Russell.
Jay, it's going to be another handoff to Russ Gore, and it's going to be very close. It looked like South Brunswick stood him up there. Very odd that West has got down here inside the 5, and they've handed it to Russ Gore twice. And not 42, Jakari Bethel.
Well,
and it was no gain.
Tough run in the interior of that South Brunswick line that time, and principally that's because of number 63, Tyler Hunley. 6'2", 280 pounds, 66 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, a couple of sacks this year for the senior, but certainly taking up some space that time and sets up the 4th down.
McDowell fakes the handoff, and South Brunswick's got it snuffed out. He's running, and he's going to be well short of the pylon as South Brunswick stuffs Owen McDowell on 4th and 1 from the 2-yard line. And boy, Jay, that you got to feel that the Cougars had to have that to stay in this game.
Well, you know what? That's probably a pretty doggone good timeout that Rocky Lewis called, right, and reset the defense and told the kids, listen, whatever you do, you got to keep West out of the end zone here. 2 scores not insurmountable. 3 gets pretty tough, and that's exactly what the Cougs did on that excellent defensive stand.
You know, Jay, 12-0 is one thing, 18-0 is a whole nother ball game. You got to feel at least okay right now if you're South Brunswick that this is a 2-score game.
Well, you want to keep it at least there, you know, with the next 1:31 to go. Don't turn this ball over, and I think Mason Phillips making the right decision, just trying to grind it out on that keeper, which he's had some success in running this year.
Yeah, Jay, that's 6 yards on the quarterback sneak for South Brunswick. That gives them quite a bit of breathing room as they're now out to the 9-yard line and don't have, you know, running back standing in the end zone.
And you're going to have, before they snap again, it's going to be under 1 minute. So ideally they'd like to pick up a first down, but certainly just don't want to give the ball over.
We have a flag on the field.
And a flag is going to interrupt play here. That is a false start penalty on the Cougars. Jay, let me ask you this. With 57 seconds left here in the first half, if you're West and you stop South for minimal yardage here, do you think about calling a timeout on the next 2 plays to make them punt from their own end zone?
Well, yeah, because, you know, lots of things can happen on the punt. You can block it, you can return it, and you're going to probably get good field position. And Hunter Younts has got a pretty good foot, Sam, so you know, it wouldn't be a bad thing if he got a chance to maybe go for 3.
That handoff goes up the middle, and the West Brunswick defense just stones the running back. I believe that was number 9, McDonald, who was dropped for a loss. A big stop. Jay, was that Casey Holler, Tim Sellers? Who else was in there?
Holler and Sellers and company, and there's the timeout that you called, Sam. So Kelly Williamson thinking the same thing you are. Let's get the ball back and see what we can do.
McDonald loses 2 yards, and that's going to force South Brunswick into a 3rd and 11 from the Cougars' 2-yard line. Jay, West Brunswick has 1 timeout left, so if they can stop South Brunswick short of a first down here, they burn that final timeout and make South punt from deep in its own territory.
And anything can happen when you do that. It's one thing if you're punting the ball from, you know, out around the 20 to 30-yard line. It's a different execution when you're in that end zone.
The trash receptacles.
So the Trojans playing some pretty good, smart football here, at least field managing-wise, making some good decisions and keeping their timeouts and using them wisely.
3rd and 11 from the South Brunswick 2-yard line. 39 seconds left before halftime. Phillips takes the snap. He hands it around the right side. A really nice job by the South Brunswick ball carrier, Warmouth, to avoid the safety, but he picks up minimal yardage, and West calls its last time out, and South Brunswick is, in fact, going to have to punt from its own end zone.
And that only took about 5 seconds, so West is going to get the ball with, they're going to kick with 34.5 seconds left. And depending on where Declan Hall puts the ball, and he's had a pretty good first half of kicking, he's going to need a big one here. That offensive line for South is going to have to do a lot of work to keep West from blocking, because, you know, the Trojans are going to be wide open.
Once again, we need the driver.
Let's see what transpires. You know, 34.5 seconds can be a long time.
Yeah, Jay, it can be very important here also for West Brunswick, if South does get it away, to catch the punt, because if it bounces, that's going to take an additional 5 to 10 seconds off the game clock. But if you call for a fair catch or return it, you know, you'll save yourself, give your offense more time to potentially add a score here before halftime.
So some added pressure. Number 9 looks like Kaysen Medford going to be the deep guy to return, and he's out around the 35-yard line. So back into the 40 now. West has an excellent chance of walking away from this with very good field position.
And Jay, remember, South did have some problems with the long snaps last week against Hoggard. This is a really good one. Hall gets the punt away. Medford comes up to catch it. Jay's got it at the 30. He's deep into South Brunswick territory, brought down inside the 15-yard line. So with 26 seconds left before halftime, the Trojans are going to have a golden opportunity to add points.
Absolutely. They are very much, they're in the red zone already. So clearly they have an opportunity to score a touchdown, and if they do not, they still have a chance maybe to take a shot at a field goal. Now, it would help if they had another timeout. They do not, so they'll have to play this smart. You pick up 10 yards and a first down, the clock will stop. You can also get out of bounds, of course. Probably not going to run the football, but who knows? Owen McDowell could be pretty clever out there.
McDowell takes the snap. He fires one high toward the end zone. Ooh. Really nice play by Mason Phillips. The pass was intended for Khalil Bland, and Phillips made a nice play to turn around, locate the ball, get a hand up, and deflect it to the turf.
Was that not a great play by Mason Phillips? Because I think Khalil Bland maybe could have caught that ball. Phillips goes both ways. 55 tackles and a sack this year from his defensive backfield position. Certainly did an excellent job that time of breaking up what could have been a touchdown pass.
Jay, if you're West, can you go to the middle of the field as long as you get to the first down marker?
You can if you get there. If you don't, you're in trouble.
McDowell rolls out to his right, rifles one to the end zone, and it is over the head of Jalen Jones-Bay. And, partner, we got a flag down at about the 20-yard line. I believe it's going to be a holding penalty on West Brunswick.
And that's a difficult penalty, Sam, because it's going to
it's a personal foul face mask on the Trojans.
Wow. So that's probably going to take them out of field goal range where they were on the 14, 15-yard line. Hunter Younts maybe could have taken a shot, but
ladies and gentlemen, at halftime,
see where they're going to mark it off or walk it back to. It's going to be a much more difficult attempt.
Yeah, IJ, 15 yards from where the penalty happened, that would be a 52-yard field goal, which is out of Younts' range. However, if you can complete maybe a 10 to 15-yard pass and get out of bounds, you may have a chance to add some points.
William Hinkins, David Hewitt.
As it stands, it's a 2nd and 29 from the 35-yard line of South Brunswick as McDowell takes the shotgun snap, looking for a receiver. He has to roll out again. And, Jay, I believe he's going to take off. He's inside the South Brunswick 25, and he hops out of bounds with 6.6 seconds left on the first half clock. A big pickup from McDowell, Jay. I believe he got to about the 23 for about 12 yards.
So you're looking at 23 and 7 is 30 and 10. So we got about a 40-yard field goal opportunity here. If Kelly Williamson wants to go that way, looks like he is not going to put it in the hands of Owen McDowell and see if he can't make one more play with 6.6 seconds to go. Maybe it's
Jay, do you have
Sean Price, right?
Do you have one chance to the end zone before you try a field goal? It is a deep pass. He's got Noah Johnson. Noah Johnson makes the ground. Oh, no. Jay, the pass is broken up at the very end. A great play by South Brunswick. I believe that was number 11, Tim Harrington, who knocked the ball away from Johnson as they came to the ground. And that was the end of the first half. It depends on the flag, though, that's laying at about the 24-yard line. Jay, I believe there is going to be a holding penalty on West Brunswick. Of course, South Brunswick is going to decline that, and that's going to end the first half. Boy, what a frenetic finish there to the first 24 minutes of game action. Jay, again, senior night here from M.H. Rourke Stadium, a state playoff berth on the line. As we head into halftime from M.H. Rourke Stadium, it's West Brunswick 12, South Brunswick 0.
Hey, Sandman, it's Jay.
Hey, partner.
Didn't you tell me you know a guy that's got some heavy equipment? I need a load of dirt.
Don't worry, man. I got you.
Sam, this isn't what I had in mind.
He'll be done any time now.
I knew we should have called JP Russ and Son.
Serving Brunswick County since 1947, JP Russ & Son has become the local leader in all your heavy equipment needs. We also haul any material, even rock. Give JP Russ & Son a call today.
Bugs have to live somewhere. Make sure it's not your house. Strand Termite and Pest Control is ready to help you with your pest control needs. Whatever the bug, whatever the problem. From that pesky roach, ants, bed bugs, or termites damaging your house, Strand Termite and Pest Control has been helping families with their pest problems for 45 years. We can also encapsulate your crawl space to stop moisture and bugs in their tracks. We're proudly family owned and operated and have 2 locations to serve you. Don't let bugs bug you. Call for a free estimate or visit us online.
Ho, ho, ho! It's time for the 7th Annual Holiday Happenings Christmas Show. Start your holiday season early and come by on Saturday, November 11th at Shallotte Middle School. Feel the Christmas spirit as you stroll the venue and enjoy entertainment by the West Brunswick Show Choir, yummy food, fantastic gifts, holiday decor, and free pictures with Santa. The 7th Annual Holiday Happenings Christmas Show, hosted by the Brunswick Beacon and presented by these great local sponsors.
The administrators and the teachers, everybody, all the stakeholders were a lot more interested in doing more STEM. And so it seemed like a good time to apply for an ATMC grant and get more iPads in the classroom here for the art classroom and the music classroom. And it's been a big hit since we've got them.
Well, these projects in music, what we did was use the program GarageBand in order for students to create their own original music that paired along with the project they did in art class. Their goal was to create music that represented the same core value they created visually in Minecraft.
Minecraft is where you could place blocks wherever you would like, and you could just let your imagination flow through, and you could almost create anything you would like. My teammate was Lydia, and we worked together, and we came up with the idea of a bouquet.
In art class, we created an American flag and a duck to represent the value of honesty. In music, we use GarageBand to create music to show that same value.
You know, with this new creativity, they're able to create their own ideas and work in new ways, which are going to solve the problems that we're having today in the 21st century.
One of the great things about Brunswick County is we have a lot of STEM industries here in our community. We have the power plant, we have Corning over in Wilmington, and ATMC is a big employer here in the county, and they're part of our community. So it's really great that they're able to facilitate our schools having more technology by doing grant funding.
It's so impressive and it's so amazing that they're willing to invest their money into the lives of these students that we have here at Bolivia. Because a lot of these students may not have the ability to do this stuff on their own, and because of ATMC, these kids are getting opportunities to learn in new ways in the evolving world with the new technology that's coming out.
We are ATMC TV, Channel 3 and HD Channel 910, your community channel.
ATMC TV's Game of the Week is brought to you by JP Russ & Son Grading and Clearing, Community Finance of South Carolina, Grissettown Longwood Fire and Rescue's Haunted Trail, The Doghouse Grill 2, Strand Termite and Pest Control, the Brunswick Beacon, and ATMC.
We're back for the start of the second half from M.H. Rourke Stadium. It is senior night and rivalry week as West Brunswick is hosting South Brunswick with a 3A state playoff berth on the line. Jay, do you think that goal line stand at the end of the first half will give the Cougars some momentum going into the final 2 quarters?
Well, it can't hurt, Sam, and it certainly keeps them within a couple of scores, so that's exactly where they wanted to come out of that situation. They do have to kick the ball over to West to start the 3rd quarter, so let's see if they can keep that up, a little bit of momentum going up here in the second half.
Boy, Jay, West Brunswick's Julian LeGrand made a really nice play to recover a kick that was just bouncing awkwardly along the ground there. Jay, a late flag came out there. That's somewhere maybe in the personal foul range. It was well after the play. We're going to wait on the call from the official.
Yeah, that was That kind of infraction wasn't
a live ball penalty.
Exactly.
It's a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on West Brunswick. An unsportsmanlike call on West Brunswick.
Not a good way to
Jay, were they offsetting? I believe it was offsetting. Jay, I'm not sure what's going on now as they mark it down at the 35-yard line, so those penalties must have offset.
Well, either way, West has the ball to start the third quarter on their 35.
And Jay, there's big Jakari Bethel, and he is loose in the defensive backfield, still on his feet, reaches across the 45, brought down at the 42 for a 23-yard gain.
Well, he had 56 yards in the first half, so now he's up to 79, Sam, and big Jakari having a big night here. His last game at home for West Brunswick.
We'll call it officially 22 yards. He gets this handoff. Jay, look at Bethel running through the hole, making jump cuts. A nice run to the 40-yard line for a gain of 3 yards to set up a 2nd and 7 from the south 40-yard line.
Jakari Bethel really running hard tonight. Not the only ones having a pretty good game for West. Quarterback Owen McDowell, 5 for 7, 55 yards through the air in the first half, and he ran 5 times for 38 yards, including a 23-yard touchdown run.
McDowell under center, he hands that one to Bethel. Bethel tries to lower his shoulder and run through the South Brunswick defenders, but he is brought down at about the 38-yard line for a gain of 2, and that'll bring up a 3rd and long 5 for the Trojans.
Big Tyler Hunley in on the stop that time, and when I say big, underscore big, 280 pounds, that's quite a match between Hunley and Bethel.
We'll call it 3rd and 6 from the South Brunswick 38-yard line. Bethel gets the handoff. A nice surge by the West Brunswick offensive lineman, and Bethel is all the way down to about the 31-yard line, very close to the marker, and it is enough. 7 yards and a West Brunswick first down. 4 carries. Over 30 yards for Bethel here on the opening series of the third quarter.
Yeah, and he's really riding behind a good effort by that offensive line. Stanley Sellers, Lewis, Long, Holler really doing a good job getting off the ball here tonight.
And yet another carry for Bethel right through the teeth of the South Brunswick defense across the 25 to the 24-yard line for another 7 yards.
Tyron Wade, the senior linebacker, hanging on for dear life that time as Jakari Bethel just keeps running hard and picking up valuable positive yards for the Trojans here on this drive.
5 carries for 42 yards on this drive alone, Jay, and I believe that has Bethel 2 yards away from the 100-yard plateau.
Knocking on the door for sure, Sam.
And I think he just eclipsed it there, still on his feet inside the Cougar red zone, dropped down to the 16-yard line for a gain of 8.
Man, you can just sort of tell with Jakari, even when he gets knocked down, he pops up so quick. He's come to play here tonight, and certainly putting on an outstanding effort. A lot of help from his friends, but a lot of determination on the part of senior Jakari Bethel.
And Jay, much of the same here as Bethel's fighting for yardage around the right side. This time he is tackled for only a gain of 1 on first down to the South Brunswick 16, and that's going to be 2nd and 9.
Sorry, Sam, that's that tough sophomore John Porter.
Boy, John Porter will stick his nose up in there, won't he, Jay? Yeah, he is not afraid to hit you.
This young man you're going to watch next couple of years, only a sophomore, leads this team in tackles. Going to be a good one.
7 straight carries to begin the third quarter for Jakari Bethel. Make that 8. Looking for running room. Still on his feet inside the South Brunswick 15. Brought down at about the 14-yard line for a gain of 2.
I would say Jakari Bethel was well hydrated at halftime, Sam.
Must be.
He filled that tank up, and he's letting it rip here in the opening possession. He's carried everything here in the third quarter for West.
This time West runs a counter play to Jalen Jones-Bay, looking for room around the left side. He's got some room across the goal line for a touchdown. Jay, I believe another Trojan touchdown will be negated by an offensive holding penalty. It is going to be holding on the Trojans. So 2 touchdowns tonight, well, would-be touchdowns, have been negated, one by a block in the back, one by a holding call, and that's going to make the proposition of getting this third down conversion much more difficult for the Trojans, who are having a really nice drive here to open the third frame.
Yeah, not sure who they called the hold on. I know TJ Cinto was downfield doing a pretty good job of trying to clear enough space for Jones-Bay to advance, and he did, but somewhere along the line, holding was called. So take that one off the board and replay it 3rd and 13.
From the 20-yard line of West Brunswick, they're going to throw the middle screen. The pass is complete. Noah Johnson looking for run. Oh, I believe that's Nashawn Price who made the catch, Jay. Sorry about that. That's 83, not 23. But the pass was complete, and that's going to set up a 4th but manageable to the 13-yard line. I believe they just got the 7 yards back, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 6 from the South 13.
And West got to hurry up and get this play in before they get called for too much time. And you're right, Sam. Good down and distance situation for the Trojans to keep this drive going, and there's the have to call the timeout. Just not able to get that play off.
And West Brunswick could not get the right personnel on the field. And Jay, this is something that hurt West Brunswick last week in its game against Laney. On one possession near the goal line, West used all 3 of its timeouts and were left with none for the final couple drives of the game. On a 4th and 6 play from the South 13, on a 4th and 6 play from the South Brunswick 13, they use a timeout to try to get the right play in. And ATMC TV would like to thank Strand Termite and Pest Control for its sponsorship. Locally owned and operated, Strand Termite and Pest Control has been serving the Carolinas for more than 45 years. It provides comprehensive pest control services to ensure the safety and health of your residence or workplace. Using integrated pest management techniques and new science, it proudly offers you today's most effective treatments. Enjoy fast and friendly service along with affordable prices from Strand Termite and Pest Control. Jay, what you got here, partner?
Well, we got a 4th and 6, and I like when McDowell makes decisions with his legs.
McDowell fakes the handoff. He's got a receiver wide open. Casey Medford inside the 5, brought down at the 1-yard line. A 12-yard completion from McDowell to Medford for a West Brunswick first down.
I like it when they roll McDowell, because then he has the option of running the football or passing the football, and he makes good decisions, and he made certainly a good one and an accurate throw that time to Medford to pick up the first down, move the chains, and get West certainly in scoring position.
And Jay, West on the goal line again, and no Jakari Bethel again on the goal line. McDowell takes the snap, and I don't think they're going to need Bethel this time as McDowell plunges his way across the goal line for a Trojan touchdown. West Brunswick with a 5-minute, 8-second drive to open up the third quarter results in an Owen McDowell 1-yard quarterback sneak for a touchdown. And on senior night, the Trojans lead 18-0, 6:52 left in the third quarter.
Second score of the night for Owen McDowell, and 18-0 lead. Let's see if West goes for 2. I'm thinking they are, and that's what it looks like.
West will line up for the 2-point conversion attempt. Trojans lead 18-0. McDowell fakes the snap. He's looking for a receiver. He makes a guy miss, reaches for the end zone, and he's across the goal line. So McDowell adds a 2-point conversion after his second rushing touchdown of the night. And with 6:52 left in the third period, West Brunswick 20, South Brunswick 0. What a drive, Jay. Emphatic drive to open the third quarter for West.
Well, it started out with the hard running of Jakari Bethel, and it finished up with the good decision-making, passing, and running of Owen McDowell, and the result is a 20-0 West Brunswick lead, 6:52 to go in the third quarter here at West.
Our ATMC TV team on the Game of the Week would like to thank ATMC for sponsoring our weekly Games of the Week. Serving our community for more than 60 years, ATMC is your local provider for telephone, internet, digital cable, wireless, and home security. ATMC is a local company with local priorities. Contact them today at 755-8206 or check them out on the web at atmc.com. Jay, do you get the sense, I know there's a lot of football left, but do you feel like West can start to smell the state playoffs?
Well, listen, they're in a very good position now with a 20-point lead, and truth is South has had a very difficult time offensively here tonight. So don't think they want to think too far ahead, but at the same time, things are certainly looking positive for the Trojans.
I believe that's Jalen Parker again with the kick return. This time, the West coverage team, that's TJ Cinto, number 8 with the tackle at about the 28-yard line, maybe the 29. So South will start this possession from its own 29 with 6:47 left in the third quarter.
So if West really wants to take charge here, they're going to turn it over to their defensive team, who's had a pretty good game here tonight. In fact, a very good game. See if they can't get a 3 quick and out and put Owen McDowell and company back on the field.
Looked like a big opening there for the South Brunswick running back. Jay, I believe that was Keyshawn Smith, number 2 on the carry. We saw him early in the season against West Bladen, and he just had a fantastic game. Got an ankle injury on the opening kickoff return of the New Hanover game, and according to Coach Rocky Lewis, it's taken him a while to recover from that ankle injury. We've seen more of him here tonight.
He's going to be a good one, though. Only a sophomore, 362 on the ground coming into the night.
And I believe that was Smith again, got back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 from the 32-yard line of the Cougars.
Casey Holler has had a strong game here tonight, Sam. He's been on a number of stops, including that one.
Oh, Jay, since Holler got moved to defense full-time, he has just been a force on that side of the ball, hasn't he?
Found a home there, hasn't he? And he's a junior. He'll be back next year, but Casey says, hey, man, we still got a lot of football left to go this season.
Phillips pulls it down, looking for a receiver, and he has a man open, and he overthrows number 34, Bradley Warmoth. And Jay, can't put that all on Phillips as he was under heavy pressure. West Brunswick defensive line got into the backfield quickly there and forced the errant throw from Phillips. 4th and 7 from the South 32, and Declan Hall is going to come on with the South punt team.
Yeah, Mason Phillips did a really good job of getting that ball out there, at least in the area where Warmoth could maybe come down with a catch. You know, offensively tonight for South, have not seen much of Matt Clark. He is
not one catch,
right? Important player for them and has not been able to get much going.
Jay Hall gets this punt away. It is a high, short kick. It drops down at about the 43-yard line of West Brunswick, where it is down. A 25-yard punt for Hall, and with 5:20 left in the third quarter, West Brunswick 20, South Brunswick 0.
It's probably the first time tonight that Declan hasn't really hit the ball hard punting-wise. He's had a really solid game here punting the football tonight, and he's been asked to do it a lot, so probably a whole lot more than Coach Rocky Lewis would want.
West Brunswick takes over 1st and 3 from its own 43-yard line. Way too early to say trying to salt this one away, but could go a long way in cementing this one with a nice drive here. Looks like Bethel struggled to corral that handoff, but once he did, he's still on his feet. Inside the 30-yard line, stiff arms the defender who's still dragging his feet. Bethel is still on his feet. My goodness, inside the 10. Big run from Big 42, Jakari Bethel.
Sam, you do the post-game highlights and you do a great job. I'm pretty sure that ought to be included.
Boy, Jay, rumbling, stumbling, and definitely not fumbling as a South Brunswick defender is down at about the 10-yard line. Boy, Jay puts a damper on quite an exciting play. We certainly send our best to the South Brunswick injured player as West Brunswick athletic trainer Megan Hardy walks down the near sideline to the 10 to check on the player. That was a 48-yard run on 1st and 10 for Jakari Bethel. Jay, it looked like once he got out of that initial scrum, if you will, looked like he was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, you know, you ever see, like, if you're watching out in the ocean or the intercoastal, and you see these dolphins and they just come up, you know, for air. That's what it looked like. Jakari, like, comes up and bang, he hits you. But hopefully the South player's all right.
And for the ATMC TV team, we'd like to thank the Doghouse Grill 2 for its sponsorship. The Doghouse Grill 2 is your neighborhood hotspot, serving breakfast all day, plus delicious handmade burgers, deli sandwiches, gourmet Red Barn coffee, and dessert to satisfy your sweet tooth. Open 7 days a week for breakfast and lunch. The Doghouse Grill 2 on Beach Drive in Ocean Isle Beach. And while the West Brunswick trainers and athletic staff tend to the injured Cougar down about the 10-yard line, we're going to take a quick break. 5 minutes and 5 seconds left here in the third quarter. West Brunswick 20, South Brunswick 0.
I think co-ops are the best business plans regardless of how large or small the community is. The people in the community own the company, they have a voice in the company, and we just go about doing the business of making a world of change for them. You know, we're a service company. We're going to provide services. Whatever those services are that come down the pipe in the future, there's no better company than ATMC to provide them. No better company than ours, no better type company than a co-op to make a difference.
ATMC Security is changing the way you connect with your home, making it safer, smarter, and more efficient. Now you can manage your home wherever you are with a single app. Lights, locks, thermostats, 24-hour security monitoring, and more, which means you always come back to a safe, comfortable home. Monitoring services start as low as $17.95 per month. Make your home a smart home with ATMC Security.
We are ATMC TV, Channel 3 and HD Channel 910, your community channel.
We're back from M.H. Rourke Stadium as the injured Cougar, Zane Tittle, that's linebacker Zane Tittle, who was hurt, trying to bring Bethel down at the end of that 48-yard run. West has 1st and goal from the South Brunswick 9-yard line. 5 minutes and 5 seconds left here in the third quarter. It is senior night at M.H. Rourke Stadium, and once again, a state 3A playoff berth is on the line. Jakari Bethel, the lone back in the backfield for West. He's going to get the carry. Got very little running room, but he makes a positive gain out of a play that wasn't really there from the beginning. Picks up about 2 yards to the South Brunswick 7.
Yeah, Isaiah McDonald low on that play, and the big guy 79, Rayshawn Roberts, up high, and it takes more than one to bring down Jakari Bethel the way he's running the football here this evening. Way over 100 yards, Sam, and certainly having just a splendid game here tonight. His last as a senior at home for West Brunswick.
This time he takes the handoff around the right side, fighting for yardage. He's down near the goal line, still on his feet, and he's eventually brought down by the South Brunswick defender, but not before advancing all the way inside South Brunswick's 3-yard line. Bethel picks up about 5 yards there to the 2.
And Jakari asking the refs for a little more, grabbing that face mask, thinks he had his mask grabbed, but the officials didn't see it. And truth is, I'm not sure Jakari really needs much help the way he's running tonight. Determined running.
Bethel with 3 carries on this possession for a grand total of 55 yards. West has a 3rd and goal from the South Brunswick 2, leading 20-0. McDowell hands that one off around right tackle, and Bethel for the first time tonight slows up as he crosses the goal line and trots in for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the evening. 3:36 left here in the third quarter, and it's Trojans 26, South Brunswick 0.
Well, that's pretty much the Jakari Bethel show on that drive. I think he touched the ball every time, and including that highlight reel run that advanced the ball down inside the red zone. So only fitting that Bethel gets a chance to score on that one. As you mentioned, Sam, second TD of the game for the senior.
Jay, how fitting here on senior night. West has scored 4 touchdowns, and a pair of seniors have 2. McDowell and Jakari Bethel, each with 2 rushing touchdowns on the evening. Oh, boy. McDowell rifled that pass out to Dylan Jeffries. Dylan was, I guess, distracted by the whistle, and it hit him right in the midsection.
Dylan wasn't dialed in.
He wasn't
that time,
dialed
was he?
in, no.
He needs to wake up on that one. Looks like he's okay.
Boy, illegal substitution penalty on the Trojans is going to push it back to about the 8-yard line.
Hey, McDowell's accurate, though, isn't he?
Boy, he hit
right in the belly.
Right in the chest, right?
Right in the numbers. You can't do it any better than that.
That was Jay Combs-like accuracy there.
No, remember location, rotation. Remember that
one? Jay, can you put this West Brunswick performance tonight at least through 2 2/4 and some change? Where would you rank this performance so far here tonight, when you take into consideration some of their other games this season?
Well, dominance tonight, and particularly Bethel. I mean, he's just not been denied that.
Boy, Bethel catches that 2-point try, and he's dragged down from behind, picks up about 3 yards, but tackled 5 yards short of the goal line. The 2-point conversion is no good, and with 3:36 left in the third quarter, it's West Brunswick 26, South 0. Jay, it's your song, partner.
They are dancing at West. You know, it's a real fun atmosphere here tonight. It's senior night, and I'll tell you, there's the cheerleaders doing your dance down there, Sam. You need to join in. But of all the venues we've been able to go to this year, and we've been blessed, we've been all around the county, right? Even outside the county. We've been over in Columbus County early in the season.
That's right.
But it's been kind of fun, and all the schools do a tremendous job. South's band is great. North's band is great.
Exceptional.
And when they get things rocking and rolling here at Rourke, it's great. So, it's all part of Friday Night Lights in Brunswick County football, and we're awfully lucky to be a part of this, and really lucky to bring it to all the folks that tune into ATMC.
Yeah, Jay, as anyone who's met me will attest, I'm a little bit of a chatterbox. And so I say that to say this. I talk to a lot of people, and I'm not sure that I know anyone who loves local high school athletics more than my partner, Mr. Jay Combs. Let me tell you, folks, he is just all about it, and I think it shines through with the jobs that he does calling these football and basketball games. This man loves high school sports.
Well, you're very kind, Sam.
Simply put.
You're very kind, and I think I may have met my match with you, and I'm happy to report that. But it's just a lot of fun, and the great thing about high school sports, and the great thing about local origination and what ATMC does, is that it brings to the viewers. You see your relatives, your family, your children, your grandchildren, your friends, your neighbors, and it makes being a part of the community so important.
Jay, that's Wormuth with the carry. Jay, I don't know if the ball came loose late.
Yeah,
no, Wormuth did. There was several flags that came in at the tail end of that play.
Somebody had Brad's face mask, I'm pretty sure, because it looks like his head did a Linda Blair with the 360. But we'll let the officials sort it out.
You're not shy.
Jay, when you were talking about the families watching their kids play on these TV games, and you get to see these kids who go to school in the community play football on TV. I wish they were televised when I was in school, but when you were saying that, I couldn't help but think all this time I thought they tuned in to hear us.
Little did you know that we are just a teeny tiny, and the less they hear and see of us, the better. Nathan and Aaron are the guys. It's always the people behind the scenes that make these things work. Not me and you. We just, have big mouths and, big faces. So,
runner at the football.
Jay, that was Wormuth on the carry up the middle there for about 3 yards. And, Jay, the Cougars just have not found much running room. After the first drive, where they picked up a couple first downs, they just haven't had much luck offensively.
Well, and you know what? The old Lou Holtz expression, the other team gives scholarships too, right? So credit West defense tonight for playing a pretty darn rock-solid game. They have not allowed South to get much traction going offensively.
Clark rifles the pass. Boy, just over the outstretched arms of Julian LeGrand and slightly overthrown intended receiver number 10. There's your guy, Matt Clark. So still haven't seen Phillips and Clark connect yet here tonight, and that brings up a 3rd and 7 from the South 48-yard line.
And Clark is a really good receiver. We've had the opportunity to see Mac play several times this year. 27 catches, 378 yards, a couple of scores. He can catch the football if you get it to him, but that one just not thrown where he could come down with it, and pretty good defense by Jay LeGrand.
Jay, I thought we may see more of the passing game from South Brunswick here tonight, as that is a big hit from number 64, Casey Holler. Met Mason Phillips in the hole there, and I believe Mason should have pitched that one.
Yeah, he probably should have. And you're talking about the difficulties that South Brunswick's had offensively tonight, and I think if you go back and look at it, a lot of those difficulties have been by that guy running out of your picture right now, 64, Casey Holler.
Boy, Casey.
Oh, hey,
scratch that.
Stay.
I think he heard you, Jay.
Stay. Get back in that game, Holler, for Pete's sakes.
Jay, South Brunswick leaving the offense on the field, trailing 26-0 with 1:45 left in the third quarter. Phillips fakes the handoff. He rolls out to pass. He's got his receiver. The South receiver loses his footing. I believe that's number 11, Tim Harrington, who makes the catch across midfield, but he falls down about 2-3 yards shy of the first down marker, and it's a turnover on downs for the Cougars.
Yeah, tough break for the Cougs that time, because Harrington did come up with the catch, his 5th of the year, by the way, but lost his footing and went down, and so ball goes over on downs to the West Brunswick running attack, which has been very, very, very solid here tonight.
That's going to be Case and Medford looking for running room. A really nice tackle, Jay. I believe that's number 20, Jacob Rogelia, who made a really nice tackle there to bring Medford down for a 2-yard loss.
And that's not an easy thing to do. But Jacob Rogelia did a great job that time. 6'1", 165-pound junior, 32 tackles in this season for Rogelia.
And, Jay, we'll see Rogelia again during basketball season, partner.
Yeah, and that's just around the corner. And, keep an eye on the Cougs in basketball this year. They're going to be pretty good.
Medford takes the handoff around the left side. Jay still on his feet, very close to the first down marker at about the 43-yard line of South Brunswick for a 10-yard gain, maybe about a yard or two short.
Medford led this team in rushing for a fair part of the year, and he is over 500 yards on the ground. Jakari Bethel became more of the runner as the season progressed, and with the big night tonight, he is well over 700 yards.
3rd and 3 for West Brunswick from the South 44-yard line. Medford gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe picks up a yard, but West is going to be about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. Let's see what head coach Kelly Williamson elects to do here on 4th down.
And one of those big guys in the front 7 of South Brunswick, Tyler Hunley, with a big tackle that time.
And that's the end of the third quarter from MH Rourke Stadium on senior night. The Trojans in complete control. A pair of third quarter touchdowns, one by Owen McDowell, one by a big bruiser, Jakari Bethel. And with 12 minutes of game action left, it's West Brunswick 26, South Brunswick 0.
Ho, ho, ho! It's time for the 7th Annual Holiday Happenings Christmas Show. Start your holiday season early and come by on Saturday, November 11th at Shallotte Middle School. Feel the Christmas spirit as you stroll the venue and enjoy entertainment by the West Brunswick Show Choir, yummy food, fantastic gifts, holiday decor, and free pictures with Santa. The 7th Annual Holiday Happenings Christmas Show, hosted by the Brunswick Beacon and presented by these great local sponsors.
Hey Sam, man, it's Jay.
Hey partner.
Didn't you tell me you know a guy that's got some heavy equipment? I need a load of dirt.
Don't worry, man. I got you.
Sam, this isn't what I had in mind.
He'll be done any time now.
I knew we should have called J.P. Russ & Son.
Serving Brunswick County since 1947, J.P. Russ & Son has become the local leader in all your heavy equipment needs. We also haul any material, even rock. Give J.P. Russ & Son a call today.
Bugs have to live somewhere. Make sure it's not your house. Strand Termite and Pest Control is ready to help you with your pest control needs. Whatever the bug, whatever the problem. From that pesky roach, ants, bed bugs, or termites damaging your house, Strand Termite and Pest Control has been helping families with their pest problems for 45 years. We can also encapsulate your crawl space to stop moisture and bugs in their tracks. We're proudly family owned and operated and have 2 locations to serve you. Don't let bugs bug you. Call for a free estimate or visit us online.
We're back for the beginning of the 4th quarter. West leading South 26-0. The Trojans have a 4th and 2 from the South Brunswick 43-yard line. It looks as if West is going to go for it. West in the shotgun. McDowell hands up the middle to Medford. He's got the first down yardage and a lot more. Brought down to the 35-yard line for a gain of 8 and a West Brunswick first down.
Boy, Medford hit that hole quick, and there was a pretty nice hole for him to sail through. Good effort by the O-line, good running by Case and Medford, and a pretty good tackle by that pesky John Porter, sophomore for South Brunswick.
Oh boy, I just want to say hi, young man.
11 minutes, 40 seconds left here in the 4th quarter as the father of Jimmy Bulldozer Cochran comes up to the ATMC TV booth to say hello.
Number 9,
Kason Medford brought down at the line of scrimmage for no gain. West leads by 26 here in the final stages of tonight's game.
And you know, you talk about guys that would hit you that played here at West.
Oh, yeah.
Cochran could flat out take you down, couldn't he? If I remember right, he went military. I think Jimmy was, yeah.
That's right. And, Jay, nice to see. I saw Jimmy earlier. I saw another former Trojan great, Taylor Bufkin, in the house tonight. West has got the throwback screen, and it is wide open as Medford bulls his way inside the South Brunswick 20-yard line. He's dropped down at about the 15 for a big completion. But, Jay, I believe there's yet another penalty flag on the play. That throwback screen has been a wonderful call twice, and it's twice been negated by a blocking foul on the Trojans.
Gotta go back and tweak that one a little if you're the West Brunswick offensive staff. But I was looking down on the field. Norm Jibke for South was being the official that time, calling the foul out against West Brunswick. But all for naught. Yeah, a couple of times this evening. In fact, one time was a score, wasn't it? And it came back on
the throwback screen to Jakari Bethel would have been a 45-yard touchdown in the first half. Instead, it forced the Trojans into like a 3rd and 22 situation. So we're going to have 2nd and about a country mile here from the 47-yard line of South Brunswick. 22, 2nd and 22 from the South Brunswick 47-yard line. Jay, in these games that are a little bit one-sided, do they have a tendency to get sloppy, you know, in the final quarter, final few drives?
They could.
Boy, Jay McDowell, he loses the pressure. He's got all kinds of running room inside the 35, still on his feet. McDowell runs out of bounds at about the 16-yard line for a 31-yard gain by senior quarterback Owen McDowell.
That play didn't look too sloppy, though, did it, Sam? not with Owen McDowell carrying the football, though. Another flag down. Oh, come on, Sam. This is going to go against South.
Jay, I believe that was a sideline warning. So if that's South Brunswick's first sideline warning, I don't believe they'll mark off the penalty yardage. Actually, I believe they will. It looks like they will.
So a big run just got bigger, didn't it?
No, unsportsmanlike conduct, I believe, on the Cougars. Sorry about that.
Anyway, you were asking about when a game gets a little out of hand, as this one, at least on the scoreboard, has. That's when, the discipline of the teams
kind of shines through, huh?
Yeah, and sometimes I think it's even harder then because your concentration tends to lapse a little bit. You got to kind of fight through it.
And Jay, worth noting, Owen McDowell has had his most successful night running the ball of the season. He's over the 70-yard rushing mark. As he keeps that one, he runs around the left side. He's got all kinds of running room across the goal line for a West Brunswick touchdown. And we have a Trojan down on the field. Jay, that's the third touchdown of the night, negated by a holding or blocking the back penalty. So instead of McDowell's third rushing touchdown of the night, West is going to have a first and goal situation from around the 20-yard line.
It's a tough play for West. Not that at this point it looks like they need any more points to win this game, but it appeared to be such a well-executed play, and maybe it was well-executed because by virtue of a penalty. There was a huge hole for Owen to take advantage of, and he did.
Whoever held did a good job.
They sure did. If you're going to hold, make sure you hold on tight, right?
Jay, you don't see a goal-to-go situation from the 21-yard line every day, but that's what we've got here as the Trojans have first and goal from the South Brunswick 21. Two receivers to the top of the formation, one to the bottom.
Price.
Boy, McDowell's in all kinds of trouble. And he is brought down at about the 25-yard line as South Brunswick comes up with a sack. I believe Jibke was in on that sack there.
A few times tonight that they've really been able, they being South, has been able to pressure Owen McDowell. His offensive line's given him a lot of time, and his quick feet and smarts do the rest. That time I think he was looking downfield hoping to get his big-time player, LaShawn Price. But Price got tangled up at the line and good pressure by the defense, and down goes Owen McDowell.
Yeah, Jay, I saw that. The West receivers were jammed at the line of scrimmage there, and a nice job of press coverage by South Brunswick. So West is going to go back to Old Reliable and run the toss sweep to 42, Jakari Bethel, who picks up about 9 yards down to the South Brunswick 16.
Jakari, even when he's tackled, he gets yards.
Man, that's a 9-yard run, Jay, like it wasn't anything.
Well, I mean, they kind of spun him down, and he just did a somersault. And if that were me, I'd be laying there. Well, I'd be done. But I mean, but he just pops right up. Youth.
And Jay, I thought it was a great point earlier you made about West, finding several different guys to carry the ball out of the backfield. Because let's be honest, if you're a West Brunswick football fan, you're not going to replace a Bubba McCray with one guy. So, and also West, at times, especially early in the season, many felt struggled to find an identity offensively. And I think here we are at the regular season finale. They found that identity, and that identity lies in number 42, Jakari Bethel. I think it's clear they want to feed him about 20 times a game and just let him eat.
Feed me, feed me, feed me.
A special thanks to the Brunswick Beacon for sponsoring our Games of the Week. Your community newspaper since 1962, the Brunswick Beacon is your source for local news, sports, and features. Subscribe to the Beacon today. Call 910-754-6890 or go to brunswickbeacon.com. Reminder, the Beacon's Holiday Happening Show will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, November 11th. Another special thanks to the folks at the Griswoldtown Longwood Fire and Rescue Haunted Trail who have been with us almost since our inception for once again sponsoring our Games of the Week. Third and goal from the 16-yard line. McDowell fakes the snap. They're going to throw another pass. That one intended for Khalil Bland, who comes up with a beautiful one-handed 16-yard touchdown strike from McDowell to number 5, Khalil Bland. And Jay McDowell took an awfully late hit there on that play. It's going to be roughing the passer on South Brunswick. roughing the passer penalty on South Brunswick that will be enforced on the kickoff. The touchdown stands, and West Brunswick leads 32-0. Jay, what a catch.
Well, a great catch by Khalil for sure, and boy, Owen McDowell, a tough kid. Hung in there and took the lick and delivered a real nice pass that Bland, using those good hands that we see at basketball season, comes down with the catch. But again, McDowell stays in the game, Sam. I can't talk enough about this kid's toughness. He takes a lot of hits out there.
8:26 left in the game, and West connects on its 5th touchdown of the night. The Trojans lead 32-0, and senior kicker Hunter Yance in for the extra point attempt. McDowell's hold is down, the kick is up, it splits the uprights, and the Trojans lead 33-0 with 8:26 left here on the senior night game from MH Rourke Stadium. And as we always do, we'd like to thank JP Russ & Sons for sponsoring tonight's Game of the Week. Serving Brunswick County since 1947, JP Russ & Son has become the local leader in all your heavy equipment needs. Paving, grading, clearing, drainage, and much more. JP Russ & Son will haul any material, even rock. Give them a call at 754-6023. Jay, catch of the season there for the Trojans?
Well,
one-handed, spectacular catch.
You know, we've had a couple of good catches tonight. How about that one that Gore made earlier on, and now the one Khalil Bland makes? And if you're a West Brunswick fan, you probably enjoy watching this game tonight. A lot of highlights, a lot of solid play by the Trojans.
And Jay, worth noting, that Gore catch early in the game was on a 4th down play near midfield when the game was still scoreless. So if West doesn't convert that play, you know, South may get the ball back near midfield. Still a 0-0 game. Anything can happen. Yeah. So that was a big catch at that time by Gore.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they're moving the ball up now to assess the penalty. So Younce is going to be kicking from the 45-yard line of South Brunswick. Chance for a touchback for sure. And that's what we got, Sam.
A touchdown. Hunter Yance bangs it through the back of the end zone. Again, 8:26 left. West Brunswick 33, South Brunswick 0. And Jay, I believe now it's safe to say your West Brunswick Trojans are going to the state playoffs.
Yeah, and so the question is, who do they draw in that first round? And I guess the draw will happen when? Over the weekend? Of course, this game is
tomorrow afternoon.
This game is aired the Wednesday following this Friday night. So by the time folks are watching this, everyone will know who's playing who. There is a chance that they could play New Hanover.
Of course, New Hanover will get the primary seed out of the Mid-Eastern Conference, as entering this week's games, New Hanover was undefeated. And you have to wait and see what happens in their game tonight against Hoggard. Of course, that will too be finished by the time this game comes on the air. But regardless of what happens, Jay, in the New Hanover-Hoggard game, New Hanover has a chance to make some real noise in the 3A state playoffs.
Absolutely. They're an excellent football team, and they got a prime-time quarterback for sure.
Second and 11 from the 19-yard line. I believe that's Wormuth who got the carry, got back to the original line of scrimmage for a pickup of 1.
I get confused with their with the tackle. I know Jones is the quarterback at Hoggard. We've had the pleasure of seeing several of his games. Is it Walston?
Blake Walston,
at New Hanover, big, tall. I think he's a left-handed kid, and man, he can spin it, as they say. So whoever goes up against New Hanover is going to have their hands full, and it could very well be these West Brunswick Trojans.
South Brunswick with a 3rd and 10 from its own 20-yard line. Phillips bobbles the snap, tries to pitch it, but very wisely just holds on to it as Casey Holler came up with the initial stop
Probably going to see some numbers in the game now for both these teams that you don't always get a chance. And that time, number 75, Ron Grady, 5'7" senior, gets into the book on this senior night at West with the tackle for a loss. So sets up another punting situation for Declan Hall.
Boy, he's been a busy guy, Jay.
Yeah, he has been. And he's done a really nice job all night, evening long, punting the ball, trying as best he could to keep his team out of trouble.
He gets off a nice-looking punt there. Clariday comes up, and he's going to let it bounce. Takes about a 15-yard South Brunswick bounce down at the 41-yard line of West Brunswick, where they'll take over 1st and 10 with 6:09 left in the game here tonight. Jay, the last thing I intend to do with this statement is sell these seniors currently on the West Brunswick team like Russ Score, Jakari Bethel, Tim Sellers. You know, I do not want to sell those guys short. But for anyone out there in the community who thinks West may be in a rebuilding mode next year, you should have seen this JV football team that West featured this year. Finished the season 9-1, 7-0 in conference play, the best single season in West Brunswick JV football history, as the JV quarterback, Mr. Jay Fletcher, is in the game to take a handoff. And who was that on the carry there, Jay? That's Fletcher, handed off to Medford for about 3 yards to the 44.
Yeah, Jay Fletcher, of course, the son of athletic director Jimmy Fletcher, and led that JV team to the 9-1 mark, and heir apparent, I guess, to assume this role next year, and certainly getting some valuable playing time here on the varsity level, and did a great job running that JV attack.
That is a handoff straight up the middle. Entre Jackson on the carry for about 1 yard, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 for West Brunswick.
And that Jackson, another one of the guys that you don't always get a chance to call his name out during the season, but he and along with a lot of other reserves getting some time. You know, these kids work just as hard when it all starts way back in those hot August days, so it's great to get them an opportunity to take some game snaps.
Fletcher fakes the handoff. He tries to find an open receiver. South Brunswick had it well defended, and the Cougars come up with the sack. And, Jay, we might see West Brunswick's first punt of the night here with 4.5 minutes left in the game.
That's generally a pretty good indication that your team's ahead. If you haven't punted until, you know, around 4 minutes are left in the contest, you know you've had a pretty good offensive night.
Jay, as we saw Jay Fletcher there on that possession, I'm assuming we've seen the last of Owen McDowell here at least at MH Rourke Stadium as far as regular season games. Put his career into perspective for us. We've seen him really blossom into a strong leader and quite a fine high school quarterback.
Well, listen, I couldn't say it any better, and all those valuable minutes he got as a junior really played themselves out well here this is senior year. He's been the kind of the constant all year long early on when West was, as you said, Sam, trying to find their identity. There's some identity going on out there right now.
Jay, that's Alex Brown still on his feet down across the 40-yard line. Nice return. And, Jay, that was DeAndre Clariday handling the punting duties there for West Brunswick.
A couple of those sophomores, Brown and Clariday. But as you were mentioning earlier, when West was sort of trying to find their identity early on, the constant, the stable guy was McDowell. And I just enjoy watching him because I think he makes a lot of great decisions. I think he gets the most out of what he's got. He has a not the strongest arm in the world, but an accurate arm. And again, I really like his decision making, and I like the way that he is kind of that run-throw quarterback. And he's really had a great senior season. And he's got at least one more game to go.
Jalen Parker can't corral the snap, and he's brought down by the West Brunswick defender. I believe that's 73.
That would be a mystery.
Not sure who 73 is, but nevertheless made a really nice play there in the defensive line. Parker loses 2 yards for the Cougars. Jay, you know, at times it hasn't been a far cry from last year's 9-4 season. West is going to finish 2017 with a winning record in Mid-Eastern Conference play, and we're a break or two last week away from finishing the year 5-2 in the Mid-Eastern Conference with those only losses coming to Hoggard and New Hanover.
That's right. Up at going into this week, Sam, that means they had, two teams that were 10-0, I guess. So 20 wins combined. That's who beat West, and then the game last week, which was certainly very winnable. So another pretty darn good year by West. They're probably going to finish 4-7, 4-3. It's going to even Kelly Williamson's 3-year mark here at West at 18 wins, 18 losses, and put him over 500 in the conference at 10-9.
Still going.
It's tough to win, man. It is tough to win in the conference, and Williamson has been able to do it here at West Brunswick.
Wormuth very close to the first down marker there. He picks up about 10 yards on 3rd and 11, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 1 situation for South Brunswick from the 49-yard line. Nose of the football, very close to midfield.
Offensively, not a whole lot of first downs for South here this evening. They, offense has been a challenge for them all year. Looks like they may have picked up one that time.
Yeah, Parker did a nice job, kind of waited to see where the defense went and then kind of ducked across the 50 to the 48-yard line for a pickup of 3 yards.
But Sam, credit Rocky Lewis and his staff. Marked improvement in this South Brunswick program, and we talked about it in the pregame, the fact that defensively they improved by 16 points a game over last year. They can figure out how to be a little more productive offensively. They're going to be a tough team to deal with in the future.
Jay, that was Deshaun Lee with the carry to the 46-yard line for a pickup of 2 yards.
A lot of their offensive players are going to be back next year, underclassmen, several sophomores, lots of juniors. So folks over in Boiling Springs, you got a lot to look forward to football-wise with your Cougars.
Jay, certainly worth mentioning, South Brunswick picked up its first road conference win in more than 3 years this season when they beat Topsail on the road, and then also had a 3-0 overtime win against Ashley. Picked up 2 conference wins this year after going winless in the conference play last year.
Little steps, right? Little steps to take those big steps, and I think Coach Lewis got them headed in the right direction. Pretty good guy. I know you've spent some time with him, Sam, by virtue of your job with the paper, but pretty impressive man.
He definitely is, and I couldn't say any better than you just did. He has got this program moving in the right direction. Jay, I know, of course, without knowing who they play, it's kind of tough to say, but assess West Brunswick moving forward in the state playoffs. What do you think about their chances?
Well, hey, look, it's a new season, Sam, right? And this is kind of been a playoff game for West, don't you think? I mean,
it absolutely was.
So,
win, you go advance, losing, you go home. So 1-0, right?
Yeah. So they got a little bit of a playoff experience already in 2017, and you never know how things are going to roll out. It's a different team at the end of the year than it was at the beginning. So if you make those assessments based on what you saw 10, 11 weeks ago, you're wrong. This is a much better squad, and certainly have found their identity, and certainly have some kids out there that can play and play hard. And can't say enough tonight about Bethel. Really, just that want to, as you described earlier on, Sam, really was a big difference here tonight. He just wanted it more than anybody else, and it showed in his performance on the field.
Fletcher takes the snap, and West Brunswick is just killing the clock. West loses about a yard, maybe 2 there, and the clock is winding down with 20 seconds left here on senior night. West Brunswick is going to secure a 33-0 win over county rival and 3A foe South Brunswick. Jay, final impressions, partner.
Sam, just a solid effort by West, and the better team won tonight. Let's put it that way. And I think in most of these matchups, that's kind of how it's been, right? West has been dominant over South for a long time, and certainly in 2017 they continue that dominance with a huge 33-0 win here tonight.
And West has now won 28 of the last 32 meetings between these two teams, and most importantly, With the win, West Brunswick has secured a berth in the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 3A state playoffs with a 33-0 victory over the visiting Cougars here tonight. Senior quarterback Owen McDowell led the way with a throwing touchdown to Khalil Bland, 2 scores on the ground, and he was certainly aided by big Jakari Bethel. Racked up more than 20 carries and exceeded 160 rushing yards. He also added 2 scores on the ground. For Nathan Evers and Aaron Varnum and Jay Combs and the entire ATMC TV team, I'm Sam Hickman from MH Rourke Stadium on senior night. It's West Brunswick 33, South Brunswick 0. Good night.
We are ATMC TV, Channel 3 and HD Channel 910, your community channel.